Doing all right. Doing all right. Going to drop off a package at FedEx. Well, probably Walgreens. I don't know. We're going to take a little drive, have a little chat with you guys for a minute tonight on this beautiful Saturday. Thank everybody for the birthday wishes. It was a great birthday. Still celebrating it. Every day is a birthday. Every day is a new day at life. And I believe that every day you are reborn, and it is up to you to pave your path forward. But I'm spending my time on earth spraying for cockroaches. That's what I'm doing out here in Wayne, Michigan. I'm spraying for cockroaches. And I don't know if any of you guys know the reference, right? So David Goggins, he's a badass, right? And Mr. Goggins, tells his story about how he used to be, in his words, right, basically a fat, lazy piece of shit. And he was spraying for cockroaches for, I don't know what it says, $12 an hour or something. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, basically, life sucked, right? And, he became a Navy SEAL, lost 150 pounds or whatever, and got his shit together, right? So that's basically the reference, right? But instead of, spraying for cockroaches for $12 an hour, I'm going to do it for free for the city of Wayne, right? I'm going to spray for cockroaches and be pest control, because ultimately that's what I look at these people as, right? These people are cockroaches, they're maggots, and they're swine, they're evil dudes, man. And I know it's hard to fathom, right? You're like, well, how the hell could so many people be evil? It's like, well, misery loves company, of course, and it's not enough to take over one department, right? These people have taken over the entire city of Wayne with this culture of retaliation and animus. And, it's scary times that we live in, people. Very scary times that we live in. But we pray, we prepare, and we fight if necessary, right? And so, spraying for cockroaches, I'm the exterminator, and I'm here to, get them the fuck out of City Hall for sure. Because, it is a pump house after all, and pump houses can be rather unorganized, right? A lot of moving parts in a pump house, believe it or not. And, water leaks and breaks, and, it's an old-ass pump house, so it's bound to have some cockroaches, right? And unfortunately, guys, the city of Wayne has a cockroach infestation by way of the City of Wayne City Council, as well as the city manager, Diane Webb, city attorney, Carrie Miller, Michael Bosnick, everyone, right? Lisa Kobani, Lori Gowen, right? There we go. I got it right this time. There's so many more, right? But, some people, right, have kept their distance. And, at least on the surface, right, without having really any discovery in front of us, we're able to, get a good idea, a good picture of who's ultimately culpable, right? Ryan Strong and Chief Finley Carter, Deputy Chief Finley Carter, and Chief of Police Ryan Strong, Lieutenant Colwell, right? He was promoted, right? There's a lot of moving parts here, right? El Ziyadi, Lieutenant Amori, right? El Zabadi, right? There's more, right? There's more than that. There is more than that. So, again, I don't know. I think justice is coming. In my personal, professional opinion, right, I think accountability is coming. I believe it. I can feel it. You know, I can feel this appeal. I believe it's going to be good. I think, you know, the civil case we're about to file, I think the evidence speaks for itself. I don't think you need to, I don't think that you need to be a rocket scientist, right? A legal scholar to see that, you know, the Mark Blackwell case was fucked up. And the Mark Blackwell case is peanuts in comparison to this, right? But the Blackwell case builds on the narrative. It builds on the the Blackwell case sets the foundation. Okay. Mark Blackwell case sets the foundation because Blackwell, again, you know how I use my First Amendment unapologetically, right? Well, Blackwell does the same thing. Blackwell uses not so much his First Amendment unapologetically, but he will, you know, sue and follow through with it, and, you know, like, he's gonna demand accountability unapologetically, right? And so, you know, I owe the city of Wayne, right? I owe the city of Wayne this case, right? Because it's not a case that you know, truthfully, guys, there's reasons why it's been put off. And one of the reasons is because I really don't want to deal with it. I mean, it's fucking traumatic shit, you know, but it has to be done. The facts have to be before the court, right? All the facts, right? From May 9th, 2025 onward. We'll just say May 1st. You know, we'll give a week before May 9th, you know, what was going on, right? What was happening. And it's like, yeah, I was going in on it. You know, I was Mayor Vincent it on my previous Facebook page, and I had, you know, a couple thousand, 3,000 friends or followers, and, you know, I was getting 20, 30,000 views on some videos, and you know, some of my videos have exceeded that. I mean, 60,000 Westland Community News, over 100,000 on YouTube, right? Multiple times. So, you know, needless to say, that's what was leading up, right? That was kind of what was leading up to that, you know. A lot of criticism of the fire department, police department, you know, city council, Diane Webb, all the department heads, everybody, right? Anybody can get it. These hands are rated E for anyone. So, you know, that's what was kind of the backdrop of it. But then, of course, you know, I'm going to go back before that, and, you know, here's the Blackwell case, right? Which is eerily similar with multiple of the same players involved, right? We have a deputy chief of police that is like, yeah, there's no police report for May 19th. There's no police report. We just broke into your backyard and enforced a law that didn't exist, and one of our officers put his hands on you, but hey, you know, there's no police report, you know. So it's just like, huh, that is interesting stuff, how the city of Wayne continues to want to go hands-on, right? You know, have you guys noticed that? They went hands-on with me several times. I've never went hands-on with them, not even once, you know, because, you know, I know better, right? I know better, you know, because they're just looking for any reason they can to kill me, right? Or to gravely injure me, or, you know, be able to say, oh yeah, he assaulted us, so there's your lengthy prison sentence, right? There's your, you know, you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this, guys? These people, like I said, they're sick. These people are fucking sick, right? They're trying to paint me as a danger to the public when they're scamming the public, right? These people are openly, with a smile, scamming the taxpayers of Wayne, Michigan, scamming the living fuck out of them, and at the same time claiming that the guy who's talking about it, you know, he's a danger to the public, right? No, like, I'm a savior to the public. Thank God for people like me. Thank God for people like Mark Blackwell. Thank God for people like Anthony Miller, right? Thank God for those people, like my wife, right? Louisa Bice. Thank God for my wife, Louisa, for being willing to, you know, just honestly just speak the truth, right? I mean, really just acknowledge reality, right? Thank God that she's willing to do that, you know, for not just the city of Wayne, but, for the state of Michigan and for the country, right? And for the world at large. I mean, thank God, someone is willing to say enough is enough, right? I mean, clear as day, this is retaliatory, this is malicious, this is vindictive, this is not proper, right? At the bare minimum, we can all agree that you can't enforce a law that doesn't exist. Therefore, you can't interfere or violate. You can't violate a law that doesn't exist. You can't interfere with the enforcement of a law that doesn't exist, right? Like, these are things that we're going to have to universally agree upon as a country, right? I mean, not even getting into the bigger issues of like warrantless break-ins and retaliatory prosecution. I mean, we got to get some mutual understanding on paper, right? Like, that this is void ab initio. This is wrong from the very start, from the very beginning, right? And it just gets worse and worse. Like, there's no way to excuse it. You knowingly, maliciously prosecuted me. And so, the world's going to know. The world already knows, but the record's going to know. There's going to be a record of it. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter, right? We care about the truth at the end of the day, and that's why the title of this video, right? The title of this video, we are taking no salary, running for office here, city council. We've applied to be on every single board and commission there is, right? So, we're doing all this for free. We're doing all this just as community service, right? Like, I'll show you community service, right? I'll show you probation, right? 18 months, I'll serve for 18 months. I'll minimum 18 months on a board or committee, but I'm thinking indefinitely, right? I'm thinking indefinitely. I'm thinking it's really time, right? That somebody, that's an example. The example is simple, right? This government abuse, right, of our neighbors has to stop, right? It's just that simple, right? The governmental abuse, this weaponization of ordinances and of policies and, a fucking ordinance, right? If an ordinance violates a real law, a state statute, or a amendment, a constitutional right, that's the real law, right? The U.S. Constitution anyways. And everything else is just window dressing. I mean, bottom line, it really truly is a scam beyond that. That's how simple government should be, and government should be small and limited in its scope and practice, and it should be for, really yeah, you got to have a police. Yeah, you got to have a fire department of some kind, a volunteer fire department, right? You got to have something, right? But this idea that we have to put up with this abuse because these people said so, and these people are smarter than us, and it's like, well, obviously they're not. Clearly they're not. Clearly, based on the results, based on the product in which we are looking at, we can conclude that there was something clearly fucking wrong in the city of Wayne, right? And like I said, I don't really, at this point, I say, look, the ship is sinking either way, guys. So, we can sit here and pretend otherwise, right? We can kick the can down the road a few more years, but at some point, just let it implode, right? Just let it implode. And really, honestly, I think at this point, community service-wise, the quicker you can get it to implode, the better. Right? Because it's going to implode. It is imploding. And there's just, like I said, there's no end in sight. Every time you think the city of Wayne has, reached their peak of stupidity, right? They go another, 6 feet deeper. They don't have seemingly any bounds, right, to their vindictive ways and their retaliatory prosecution, ideals, right? This is what we've seen again and again. We've seen these same patterns time and time again, and thank God for Mark Blackwell. Thank God. We need to build a statue of Mark Blackwell in the city of Wayne, for fuck's sake, because he's a guy who just stood up for, not only himself, but he stood up for all of you, and everybody truly owes Mark Blackwell a huge round of applause. And he's still fighting them. He's still ongoing with them, and it's a lovely sight to see. It's a lovely sight to see. So keep up the good work, Mark, and I'll pick off where you left off, right? So I will try to make everyone in the city of Wayne proud, right? The non-bootlickers, right? The majority of people that just want to go to work and come home and raise their kids and not be molested by their local government, and constantly bent over at every angle, every turn, every position possible, right? Yeah, that's what all people want, right? Is really just to be left alone within reason, and right now what we have is just not within any sort of rational reason. It's quite literally a grift, all one big grift. I don't know any other way to put it. A grift, right? A big, solid, fat, juicy grift. It's a fucking grift, guys. And these people, need an awakening, right? They need an awakening. It's mind-blowingly scary what they can seemingly get away with, at least in the short term, what they can get away with, right? And again, let's talk about public interest, right? Public order, public peace, right? Public safety, right? Public safety. Let's talk about public safety. Wow. Public safety is a word that they manipulate, and they attach whatever meaning to it they want. But basically it's kind of like, hey, however we can take away your rights under the guise of public safety, right, then we're going to. And so they sit here and they go, oh yeah, well, we need you 25 feet away from us, just far enough to where your microphone can't pick up, how we're trying to spin it, right? How we're trying to spin the police report details. And they're professional liars. That's what these people are. These people are professional fucking liars, right? And then when you ask them just a few basic, simplistic questions, right? You're not asking gotcha questions, right? I mean, to them, everything's a gotcha question, right? Anything that asks you to explain what they mean to a layman person, right? They can't do it. Well, because why can't they do it? Because it's bullshit. Because they have to choose a certain words to compile a word salad, and they got to stick to their script, right? And when you get them off their script, it rattles them, it confuses them, it frustrates them, right? And then they lash out. Oh, you're lying. Oh yeah, we're all lying here, begging the question, right? Just like this agenda that they posted, 118 pages of it. I'm gonna run the city through that, right? I'm gonna run the city through that whole entire agenda, and we'll see, right? Of course, it doesn't matter. Nothing will happen, right? At the end of the day, they do what they want, and who's gonna stop them, right? Who's gonna stop them? Well, it's okay. It's all right. Keep on keeping on, guys. Keep on displaying your corruption to the world. At some point, it will catch up to you. It will catch up to you, guys. At some point, it will. I know you can say, oh, he's crazy, delusional Vince over there. Yeah, don't pay no mind to him. He's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. He's got the PTSDs, the personality disorders, right? He's got, well, what did they say I had? Antisocial with paranoia. Antisocial disorder with paranoia. There's no such thing as that, but that's what Officer Colwell diagnosed me as. So you're like, wow, that's kind of interesting that these people have thought about me so much, in fact, that, they have they diagnosed me themselves, right? He's not trying to get his social work on, right? Well, social work ain't even a real science at all. It's not even approach. It's social work, right? It's a social science degree. It's basically a professional grifter degree, right? Is what it is. It's a grifter degree. It's not a real medical degree. It's not, it's not even the equivalent of a therapist, right? There's, like I said, it's very limited scope. Something that, honestly they should do away with, right? It's a retarded concept, right? I mean, I guess like a social worker, the concept of it isn't really the problem, but it's just like it's just a leftist, Looney Tune, trans men or women bullshit, right? I mean, that's just what it turns into, right? It just turns into just some fantasy, non-objective reality, think tank of lies, right? I mean, that's essentially what it turns into. So yeah, I don't want to take no chances, and not, I don't know. I don't want to do too much here with these lawsuits. I want to take my time and be methodical, but I also know the clock's kind of starting to tick a little bit on some of it. A lot of stuff I got to do, and anybody would be apprehensive, but pop me a few Adderall, feel like Hulk, get my ADHD under control and go to work. That's all we can do. It's all we can do, guys. All we can do. Just hope we can convince the right one and say the right magical words, right? I mean, that's essentially what it boils down to. Essentially what it boils down to. Saying the right words, guys. The magic words. Yeah, let's just hope that the evidence that we can obtain or have obtained, the things that we can factually allege, plausibly allege, hopefully that is enough to get us to discovery. I mean, I certainly don't see why it wouldn't, especially considering this discovery preservation order, right? I mean, so we'll see, guys. I mean, I'm just a player with some game, that's all. Play with some game, rocking the Maddox XLs. But then I said, you know what? Nah, I think I'm going to rock the Tombstones. Right? Because at the end of the day, we got to get deadly. We got to get ferocious with our ability to recite applicable case law and, properly invoke our rights. Because that's the biggest problem for any attorney, right, is being able to be effective in the courtroom. But yeah, we'll keep on keeping on. Hopefully it's enough. Hopefully, guys. Hopefully the evidence will speak for itself. I think it will. I think the evidence speaks for itself. Yeah, I'm not going to say that we're not apprehensive about the whole thing. We absolutely are. Absolutely, because we know what comes with it. We know the blowback. We've already had to suffer so far, and all the retaliation. And God, I mean, you start really, if you actually file, a real lawsuit. Oh man, we're gonna lose our shit. A real lawsuit in the sense of monetary damages, right? So, yeah, your malicious prosecution led to my, incarceration, right? And so, absolutely insanity. Absolute insanity. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Oh right. Yeah. Tire shine, baby. You too, buddy. Thank you. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yes. We love it. We love it, love it, love it. We love our Garden City United Car Wash membership. We love United Car Wash, baby. Club. Join the club. Join the club. Oh yeah. We like it. We love it. We want some more of it. Oh yes. Cleaning badass cars all day. Badass cars all day long. Yeah. No tippy tip for you, white man. You're not a hot woman, like a hot blonde or something, or brunette. So no tippy tip for you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't normally tip them because I'm already paying for their membership. But try to sometimes I do. But man, I just ain't really got money for nothing. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. If I had $2 on me, I would give it to them, but I don't. But I don't, but I don't, oh no, but I don't, 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 oh. Alright. And we're back. We're back, we're half black, and we're ready to see some big ol' racks. No racks over here. Except my own. I got a little bitch tit action, a little gynecomastia. Bitch tits, right? I got some bitch tits. Not like, really that bad, it's not like, but I guess on an imaging you can see some bitch tits, so now you know. Bitch tit Vince. Bitch tit, baby. Gynecomastia. You guys know what that is, though. Don't ya? It's from Resperdal, or like if you take like Deca, I think. Deca and Resperdal. Take Resperdal. There's some other meds that'll cause it too. Prolactin. Yeah. It's been a minute since I've opened up my nursing book, but crazy shit. Some crazy shit. Joe, what up, Joe? Joe. Where art thou, Joe? We're just smoking the finest. The finest CBD. This side of the Mississippi. Ooh-wee. Tee-hee. Tee-hee. Happy hang out in Tennessee. There you go. I like to hear it. Yeah. I think I'm more of a Kentucky guy myself. If I'm gonna be real with you. I think I like Kentucky's vibe a little bit more for some reason or another. I'm not really sure. Tennessee's more popular. Tennessee's really, really pretty. Tennessee's got more going on, but Tennessee, by all metrics, is a better state than Kentucky. But I still like Kentucky more for some reason. West Southern mix, kind of that charm. So I don't know. But I'm a Montuckian, right, by heart. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Yeah, Kentucky's a weird state. But it's all good though. It's all good though. Boomers, guys. What are we going to do about all these boomers? All these parasitic boomers, right? Not all of them, right? But some boomers are just unbelievably vitriol, right? Extremely vitriol. Some boomers are just awful. Some, I suppose, are cute, right? The law is pretty bad in Kentucky. Yeah, I mean, Kentucky's really like its own country, man. Like, there's different parts of Kentucky are different, way different. Same way in Georgia. Like, I like Georgia too. I like Chattanooga. I like the Chattanooga area, North Georgia. Chattanooga, Tennessee area. I like that area. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a North Georgia guy myself. I don't know. North Georgia, the vibe just, feels right to me. Better vibe than you get up here up north for sure. Happier vibe, happier people. Right? Simpler way of life perhaps. I don't know. That's how I would describe it. yeah, we're getting it going, man, because we really, like I said, either way, you know, we got the Ann Arbor lawsuit. We're filing that. You know, we're filing the what's it called? We're filing the Laura Starr, the false petition lawsuit, right? Because that issue, like, I mean, some of these issues just, I mean, quite frankly, have to be tried on their own, you know? So, like, of course, like, we can use the issue in multiple lawsuits. I mean, as far as, like, you know, we can use it to support. We're not using it as a main exhibit, you know? But, yeah, some of these issues just, they have to be filed separately. But I want to get, like, the Ann Arbor shit out the way. I just want to get that filed and out the way. Because that's a pretty clean, simple, you know, kind of case, right? More cut and dry, less moving parts, I guess you could say, right? So we really want to kind of get that one going, and get that one filed, and just be done with it, you know, be done with that one, and be able to go on to, you know, the ones that we really need to be worried about, which is May 9th, right? But it's technical stuff, right? Like, how do we want to present certain issues, and there's a lot of different moving parts that we have to untangle. And so, a lot of questions, right? I mean, like I said, how these lawsuits are supposed to work is, you know, you get it out there, you get the main shit out there, you get the main points out there, right? And then, you know, if it gets to discovery, you know, and all that, then, you know, things get more developed, right? I mean, you put on paper what you know, what you can, you know, what you can allege, right? Plausibly allege, like, hey, you know, this I saw with my own eyes. I don't have a copy of this discovery material, but, you know, like, I got video of this incident, right? There's no police report. Well, that's a discovery issue. That's a discovery, you know, pursuit. And so, yeah, because, like, I don't mind looking up the shit myself, you know. I don't have any issue looking up anything myself, you know, for that matter. So it becomes really a game of whack-a-mole. Manchester, Tennessee. Yeah. 25 feet. Halo law, baby. Too many people filming police. Police don't like it. They're not comfortable with it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I'll roll right up on a scene and start recording their bitch asses. I don't care. Get right next to them. Get within, you know, 6 feet of them. I want to hear what they're saying to each other. You know, I want to record all of it in its entirety. Are you Phil Collins? I don't know. Do I look like Phil Collins? I could be Phil Collins. Could be. Very well could be. Very well could be. But I don't know. You tell me, am I Phil Collins? I don't know. I do not know what I am. Yeah, I saw the Popo out on Michigan Avenue, guys. This morning in Wayne. I'm trying to write some tickets. That 40 mile per hour zone. right by the funeral home, I think it is. But yeah, they were hanging out. There's a lot for sale next door, right? That they hang out kind of by that vacant lot on the corner of Michigan Ave. Fuck, can't remember what street it is, but yeah, they hang out over there. Hang out over there and write their tickets so they can justify their existence. Rob people of money because they went 5 or 10 miles per hour over the speed limit. Yeah, we can't just have personal responsibility like, hey, you know, if you're driving faster than what's advised, then you get in an accident, then we just hang you on the wall, right? We just make an example out of you, right? Which isn't really making an example out of anyone. It's just giving people a swift consequence, right? For bullshit actions, right? Negligence, right? For carelessness, for recklessness, right? I mean, you should, you know, just punish the person like the law says, right? And, you know, the problem is we don't follow the law, or we make up laws, or we misapply laws, right? It's not so much that the laws itself are bad, it's just, you know, the people in charge of the system, right? Those are the people that, you know, just don't seem to... They don't seem to care about our constitutional republic. They don't seem to care about, you know, English common law, common fucking sense, guys. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They just don't seem to care about common fucking sense, right? So, you know, I don't know what we're gonna do other than, you know, of course, continue to record them every chance we can. And, you know, like I said, I want them to begin to fear private citizens again, right? People that are just tired of their bullshit, right? Like I don't, you know, I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm going to record you and everything you do and everything you say, and, you know, ask you critical questions, right? Because, yeah, you need that. You need that check. You need that check. Because these people are just too, you know, they abuse their power way too much. And that's ultimately, you know, abuses human nature in some extent, right? And, you know, there's a reason malicious prosecution and vindictive prosecution and selective retaliatory prosecution, right? There's a reason that these things exist, and it's because, well, human beings are human beings, and human nature is human nature, and, you know, obviously these things happen frequently enough to where, you know, we have to, you know, pass laws to try to prevent them, right? If these things didn't happen, they wouldn't, these theories wouldn't exist, right? I mean, all this shit exists is because someone in the past has done this. And so therefore now we have to apply the facts. We have to apply to, you know, really, I mean, it's as simple as looking at the facts, and the facts are quite clear, abundantly clear. So clear that, you know, Stevie Wonder could probably see it himself. Mark Blackwell. Don't read comments while driving. Well, I mean, everything's on this big screen, right? You know, I mean, you read everything on the screen, like you read your fucking speed, everything, right? I mean, you tell me, like, don't, like, you know, you can't do that, man. It's all screens now, right? Don't read comments. Well, I read what the screen says, right? So, yeah, I don't know. You'll be all right. Bossy Boots 007. Yeah, you're right. Mark Blackwell. 2622 or 2661. They don't like people who know their constitutionally protected rights. Well, exactly. I mean, that just comes down to it. You know, the citizens of Wayne knowing their constitutional rights, well, that leads to, litigation, right? Or people asking questions or all sorts of things. And obviously, the city is not equipped for that level of business, right? They're not equipped for that, right? So they're, of course, going to do whatever the hell they want. And if that means you get stepped on, then that means you get stepped on. I mean, that's just what it is, They're going to take your money. They're going to do whatever the hell they want. They're going to give some of it to their friends. And if you dare notice or dare speak out against it in any way, shape, or form, you will be punished with a belt to the ass, or better yet, a fan belt to the ass. You're going to be severely, swiftly, and relentlessly punished for the small act of noticing, right? Kind of hard not to notice something so obvious, but again, the city of Wayne simply does not want you to notice. And then, of course, definitely don't know your constitutionally protected rights. Don't understand your Fourth Amendment, right? Your case law, Fourth Amendment, to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, right? And that includes arrests, detainments, GPS tether, probation. I mean, that includes everything, right? You have the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. Just like you have the right to, express yourself. It against for exercising your First Amendment, as Mr. Blackwell is well aware, and I'm sure many of you are as well. So, yeah, I mean, it just comes down to that. It comes down to that in its entirety, because an informed populace is, it forces the government into a position of either, paying the lawsuits, paying the fees, paying the fines, right? Paying the penalties, right? Paying the sanctions for their actions, right? To do what they want, right? Because, I mean, that's ultimately, it forces them to have to confront one of two choices, right? They can just continue on as usual and, try to keep the populace as misinformed, uninformed, non-informed as humanly possible, right? And they can do that and just pay the fine, pay the piper every time. They can just pay for the inevitable lawsuit, pay for the settlement, right? And then just continue on with business as usual, which, that's what these cities do, right? Typically, right? While the city of Wayne financially just, can't afford it, right? I mean, just to be frank with everybody, the city of Wayne just truly can't afford these type of lawsuits, right? These type of settlements, these type of complaints and claims and, discovery, and it all gets expensive. I mean, it just simply gets expensive. And of course, if the facts are just simply not on your side, as in, these cases, then, the city of Wayne, of course, they well, they're like a bull that just charges forward. They don't care at what extent they have to go through anything other than admit responsibility for their actions, right? I mean, that's ultimately the city of Wayne's strategy. And so far, it's had some success, right? I'm gonna give them credit where credit's due, but I don't think it's going to, in the long run. No, what? Please say again. Praises with raises. Damn, Mark's got all the wisdom. Mark Blackwell, he's got the wisdom. Praises with raises. Yeah, that sounds kind of like it, Mark. You know, kind of sounds like you're onto something there. Kind of does sound like you are onto something there, sir. Ooh, big hole right there. A big hole I have to fill. Ha ha ha. Definitely want to fill that hole up real quick. Grab this bag of dirt here. But yeah, you know, we're just hanging out, guys. Hanging out. Trying to keep it together and stay organized, right? It's very easy to get disorganized, to get overwhelmed with information. Because who the fuck could possibly, you know, deal, right, with this type of shit, right? Not many people. Not many people. So. Oh, Zook Pond is going to be lovely out here. Check it out, guys. Trees over here. We got a bunch of trees over here. A couple of them ain't doing so good, right? A couple of them, but that's to be expected, right? You plant trees, you'll be lucky if 10, 15 over there make it. A couple over here didn't make it, or haven't been making it, but we'll still keep them around. But yeah, and only 2 out of all those, so it's not bad. But yeah, we had the grass cut real nice, so we're gonna, of course, you know, keep adding trees over here. But this is where the pond's gonna be, so you guys can see. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty forest. We're gonna add to it, add a lot more trees, but we're gonna leave it so you can get to the pond and actually excavate if you need to. You know, you want to have enough space, you know, to congregate right around it, and you want to have enough space to be able to drudge it out or clean it out if you need to. You know, did I ever look up? I don't think I did, Joe. What was I supposed to look up? Please inform me, good sir. Please, sir, what is it I need to know? Get some fucking dirt in this hole, man. Big ass hole. You ever just randomly get a big hole in your yard? Just ever randomly? Be like, huh, there's just a random chunk of dirt missing out of my yard here. Milk on the corner fudge is made. Damn. You're getting me to say some crazy shit, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I have to go look at that. I have to go check it out.
What's up, buddy?
Good, how you guys doing? Tina Jean, what up? That's Eric Claryman, right? What's up? What's up? Welcome. Tina Jean, what's up, Tina? Tina Jean, baby. How's it going, Tina? Tina Jean. Eric Clearyman. Oh yeah, so what do I think about Mr. Clearyman? He's all right. He's a little weird motherfucker. I ain't gonna say he's not, in my opinion. But I'd take him over anybody on the council right now. I'd probably take him over Mulholland. I think he's got more heart than Mulholland does. Sadly to say, I don't think Mulholland has the nerve that Mr. Clearyman has. So, yeah, I mean, as far as like councilmen, yeah, shit. When you coming back, dude? When you coming back, Mr. Clearyman? The city of Wayne desperately needs you. Needs Mulholland too, but it needs some, a few others too that are just not gonna put up with the bullshit. Simple as that. I don't know any other way to phrase it. Just gotta BS. Been allowed to persist in Wayne for seemingly a long time. This zip code's been corrupt.
Oh yeah?
Corrupt as fuck. So.
Any different than the corrupt down out west?
Yeah, I think this shit's more brazen, more unconstitutional. I know that's hard to believe, but but I got some receipts. If you ever want to go through them, I got enough receipts that it'll get you nauseous. Just say, yeah, that's enough receipts. I believe you. Damn. Monster waiting in the fridge, just like I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own put a tear in my eye. I ain't gonna lie, put a tear in my eye. Yeah, careful with this sink, cause I gotta caulk that over there.
Where?
Over there, behind there.
Okay, cool. Going on.
A little bit of disposal going on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get your inner horse on. Are you hung like a horse or a horse fly? I'm hung like a horse fly. You gotta have a microscope and some tweezers to see my shit. No, it's not. That's hot. Kinky, baby. Kinky motherfucker. I know I am. I really don't try to be. I really try to be kind of modest, But, you live in Wayne, it's hard to be modest. Hard to be modest. Shit, Eric Clearyman, best city councilman that we've had in my lifetime. The best we've had in my lifetime. Which unfortunately isn't saying much, I understand. But, you gotta start somewhere, guys. You gotta start somewhere. But yeah, I think Clearyman needs to run in 28. You better run in 2028. God damn, we need people that ask questions. Ask some questions, man. Expect answers. Persistent. 90 days in jail for violating a law that don't exist. Or no, I'm sorry, interfering with the enforcement of a law that doesn't exist. But I'm still here, baby. Still here. So, try harder. Try harder. Elbow deep. Elbow deep. Elbow deep. Elbow deep. Elbow deep. In my Jeep. Going skeet. Skeet, skeet, skeet. Tender treat. Resort fee. I don't know. Fuck. I forget. Tina Jean. What's up, Tina Jean? What's up, Joe? Fudge, huh? Fudge. Oh, milk, lemonade. What's the milk then? Milk is the politicians tell to get us to vote for them. The lies? Milk's the lies? Interesting. Yeah, I believe you. I mean, I'm not going to dispute that. I ain't going to dispute all that. I'm still here to keep reading. I mean, shit, dude. I'm here, dude. I'm here, I'm reading. Yeah, right here. What's up? What can I do for you?
How much is the firewood?
How much you want?
How much do you want? $40 worth? Okay.
You gonna put it in here? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. All right, we got to run to the store before they close. I hear tweeting. Yeah, birds. Birds are chirping. Yes, sir. Yeah, a lot of tupelo trees planted, cypress trees. Really trying to bring the birds. Right. Really trying to bring the birds. But we'll see. We'll see. They're coming out for sure. What's going on, everybody? Where am I going? Dollar General? Nah. No, not Dollar General. No, not a big fan of DG. Not a big fan. I'm more of a Dollar Tree or Family Dollar guy myself. Never liked DG all that much. No. Not a big fan. You are going to set up for Purple Martins? No. Mm-mm. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Oh, certainly not. Waniac, Waniac alert. Oh, baby. But yeah, we are live. Live. Is the cops there? Yes, they are there. Here they are. They are here. Have no fear, the Wayne PD is here. Yes, they are here. Nice blinker. They must have taken a blinker instead of using their blinker, because I definitely didn't see one. Oh man. Oh man. I'm gonna be this tree right here, guys. I'm gonna sit on this tree. Oh, I'm gonna sit here, enjoy the show unfold. 448. Yeah. Pulled over. Neighborhood watchdog. Cop block, right? Welcome to another episode of Cop Block. Wayne PD hiring a lot of women, a lot of ladies. Gave him a ticket, writing those tickets. Man. We're gonna pick up this trash. Oh my God, hello. Hello. What did he do? Did he run the light or did he speed? What did he do? What did he do? Dang. They hire baddies in Wayne now? I don't know. Who is that one? They got a new baddie working one. They finally was able to hire someone who's not repulsive to look at. That's a first, apparently. I don't know. Welcome to the team, whoever you are, officer. She got him on the road. The road pirate got her. Got him. Damn. Another one bites the dust. And another one does. And another one does. And another one bites the dust. Ba ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. He seems to be happy with his life, so that's a pretty happy guy for getting a ticket. He was a pretty happy guy. He took that ticket with a smile, whoever that man was. We were trying to interview him, but we unfortunately did not get to. But uneventful. Uneventful. I mean, that's how most police interactions are, right? Most of them should be uneventful. Oh, back on the road, back on the road. But yeah, guys, we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of party tonight on Glenwood. Have ourselves a nice little toasty fire. Nice little toasty fire. Okay. So, what would you know? Went to a park today in Toledo, though. That was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Pretty fun. Really tall structure, man. It was really fun. Definitely not bad. Definitely not bad. Yeah, we stopped to check it out. We stopped to check it out. Check it out. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Baby. Baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, 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 oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think we got her. I think we got her pretty good. Yes, indeed.